Well, let's get into it as we wrap up the show here. Obviously, the biggest matchup of the year. You know, they're only going to get bigger as the season goes along. And now you've got the Bears and Commanders facing off here on Sunday. The NFL thought this was such a big game that they flexed it to the 3:25 window. You know, now Jaden Daniels, you know, right now it doesn't look great that he'll play, but it's not completely a foregone conclusion. So there's still a chance that it's Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams, but more importantly, Jaden Daniels versus the Bears defense, Caleb Williams versus the Bears defense. So it's a big matchup, big NFC implications, two teams that could very well be fighting for the same playoff spot come year's end, two teams that could, you know, potentially meet up in the playoffs. So I'll set you guys up with it. And, you know, what are you guys thinking looking into this game? You got, you know, Caleb Williams starting to build some momentum offensively, you know, with 4 touchdown passes in London, going up against a secondary that is susceptible to the big play with Washington. And then on the other side of the ball, Washington, one of the best offenses in football. They run the ball with authority and creativity with Cliff Kingsbury calling plays. So overall, you know, wherever you guys want to go with this, what are your thoughts on the game here coming up on Sunday?
You know, for Jaden Daniels, this is a situation that you know, reminds me of 04 and when Steve McNair had gotten hurt at Tennessee. He had been hurt for a couple of weeks, and they were, you know, he was due to come back against us, but I think we were leading the league in sacks, you know what I mean, that year, at that point of the year. And they ended up sitting him for another week because it was, you know,
that smoke.
You're right. They were like, this isn't the game that we want to bring it back for. You know, so when I look at that situation, that's got to be one of the factors too about for Jaden to play this week. You know, yeah, is there a possibility you can play this week? Yes, but this defensive line right now, they're hitting home more than a lot of teams in the NFL. This defense is very good. We don't know if this is the week that you should come back if we want you to heal and be, you know, as close to 100% or the long haul of the season.
Right. I know the NFL wouldn't like that. They want these two rookies to go at each other. They want these two teams, these up and coming teams, the Washington Commanders and the Chicago Bears, to go after each other, and they want them to be as close to 100% as possible because, like you said earlier, Braggs, they're both in the playoffs if the season ended today, right? So I think you said we'd be going there to their place. Man, I want to see it. In the beginning of the season, you had people after the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you got people, including some of our Bear fans, talking about the Bears made the wrong pick. Jaden Daniels is playing well. Why can't they both just be good? I'm on that team. I'm on the team that they're both good. We have a good quarterback. They have a good quarterback. Now, it's never that quarterback against that quarterback, even though that's going to be what they make it seem like. It's going to be our defense trying to stop a quarterback that can throw from the pocket and run and use his legs. You have to take one away. You cannot allow him out of the pocket. If you do, he becomes Superman at that point because he can run. That's why I think they get a lot of their conversions, third and short, where he's converting with his feet. Second and long, he's moving the chains with his feet, and you can't allow him to be able to run the football. You can't allow him to be able to get out of the pocket. You got to hit him. And when you get your hands on him, you got to punish him. You got to punish him. He's a thin kid, so you got to punish him. Stop the run. Make them throw the ball. If you're going to beat the Commanders, I think you beat them by making him throw the football.
But I listen, even if he does play, I don't think the option to run is not that he won't do it, but I think he's less likely to do it because of his injury. So if he plays, he's already in a situation where he's probably being told, we need you to stay in this pocket. Somebody gets close, we need you to go down. You know,
if he does that, we're gonna beat the shit out of him.
We're gonna beat it right. It plays into our
breaks off of him because he's good. He's good because of
that.
Because of all of it, right? So him just standing in the pocket and not like when he's supposed to get out of the pocket, he goes. And it's like right now, and you're like, damn, I almost had it. If he thinks about it, now I'm gonna sit here, he's gonna get sacked, or he's gonna get a strip fumble or something. He got to be himself in order for them to be that. I think they're number 2 offense in the league. In order for them to be that top-notch offense, he has to be himself. And if he's not that, then I think we're gonna beat the hell out of him, honestly.
So everything that we're saying right now is already being said in the Commanders' HQ. That's all that's being said right now in their training room, their HQ, all the front office, all that stuff.
Yep.
So when you break all of this stuff down that we're saying right now, it sounds like he's not going to play. Or at least leaning toward he's not going to play this week.
It'd be down. I'd be a little disappointed, man, if he didn't.
Yeah, I'm disappointed too.
It's like this year when I'm a Sox fan. I think everybody that know me know I'm a Sox fan. We lose 119 games, and then we get to that record of losing 120. We might as well just damn lose it now. Like I would have been disappointed if we hadn't just broke the record on losing. Like at this point, if I don't see these two play because everybody been talking about how good they are and how Caleb, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Wait, what'd you say about you wanted them to break the record for?
At that point, we lost of 160 games. We lost. We were at like 100. I think we ended up losing like 122. But good Lord, like you lose that many, you might as well just break the record. Man.
That's what I call loser talk. All right. We might as well break the record.
Well, I wasn't playing, so I wouldn't be if I was
41 and 121 losses.
121 losses, bro.
121. Let me ask you guys this, because we were talking to Brian Baldinger yesterday, and he was talking about how to start the game against the Panthers, Washington and Cliff Kingsbury ran 8 different runs with 8 different looks, where they overloaded one time to the left side, overloaded one time to the right side. They countered left but ran right. Then one time they ran into the counter. And there was just some really interesting designed runs. And obviously it's always predicated also off of the threat of Jaden Daniels keeping it and running himself. And that's essentially how he got hurt on the first play of the game, where he keeps it. Nobody's, picking up the quarterback. He runs for 46 yards, and then he ends up hurting his ribs on the end of the run. But at the same time, I'm curious from your guys' standpoint, from a defensive perspective, because I think this is the biggest key to the game for the Bears when you're talking about the second best rushing team in the NFL and the Washington Commanders. How do you stay disciplined in your gaps when you have a team that runs so many different creative counters like this? And they're not all like you're pulling guards. And I feel like for you guys as a defensive players, like you're going to follow that. But like, how do you know to not, when you know that they're not always going that way, even though they're showing the counter left or right?
That's not your job. But that's not your job though. So if a guard pulls, I need to do my job. If it's a run, I'm going to do my job on that run. Now, for a linebacker, I know if the guard pulls and now it turns out to be a pass, they got to get up out of there. But as a defensive end, I'm looking at my keys and I'm reading my keys, doing my job. If my tackle blocks down, I follow him. I spill everything, period. I don't give a damn if it's 2x1, if it's 2 tight ends. I don't care what it is. If my tackle does this is what I do, period. So do your job. It's going to lead you right to the ball most of the time.
Bragg, I love that stuff. I love that stuff because it's challenging. Now, just like Alex said, listen, we have your keys. We have your keys, but there are things that some of these offenses are doing that mess with those keys a bit, and so when you talk about some of the unique runs that they have, I remember watching San Francisco, and they ran a influence wham trap. Okay, so I'm telling you all of this. You talk about you trying to read your keys. That's going to take you out of your key and then right back. You know what I mean, to where your key says you're not supposed to be. So the tricky part about all of that stuff is it's got shock value. So the first time that it happens, you probably don't know what the hell you're going to do. You probably don't know what you're doing, where you're supposed to fit, and you're getting gashed, running down. They're 15 yards down the field. And you go to the sideline, you guys review that, and your coach turns to you and is like, we have never seen that before. Okay? But now once it's on tape, now we go through our walkthrough. Our coaches they've already broke it down. This is how we have to play this. All right, this is how we have to play it. So once you do it, it's tough. But once you've seen it defensively, you will figure out how to stop it. But I love that stuff because it's all predicated off of power running, not gimmick running. It's not gimmick running. So you're running a counter, but you're influencing it, and you might have a wham added to it. So you're adding all these different power schemes, and you're making it more difficult for your defensive players to use their keys to get to the ball.
That's really good stuff here as we wrap things up. We always try to wrap things up with the mailman coming to the house, and we need to know, Alex, if you're giving the Bears some advice this week, and you're walking into that locker room, what can Brown do for you, Chicago Bears?
Okay, so I've been in situations like this. We played against Atlanta. As far as the Commanders go, and if Jaden Daniels plays, that's why I say you got to keep him in the pocket. You want a guy like that to beat you from inside the pocket, because if not, and he can get outside the pocket, now he becomes the most dangerous player in the league, and now he can beat you so many different ways. So keep him in the pocket. Keep him in the pocket, and when you get your hands on him, you got to punish this guy. You got to punish. You already know he hurt. Land on him. I know you might get a 15-yarder, but if you get the 15-yarder, he out the game, we'll take the second stringer.
So you're telling guys to play illegal football?
Hey, I'm sorry. Did you not hear me say in the beginning of this? I played with Greg Williams. I played for Greg Williams. All right.
That's a bounty game.
Nah, I mean, we was just knocking the shit out of people. People got offended. We were knocking the hell out of people.
Darkest days of Saints history.
No, I'm just playing. Greg ain't never tell us to hurt nobody, man.
There you go.
Greg ain't never tell us to hurt nobody, but it was making the right tackle, and we took pride in that. And if you got hurt, it's football, man. Hey, shit happens.
Shit happens indeed. I just want to give a quick reminder to everyone. We talked about it earlier. Watch party here coming up on Sunday, October 27th here, just a couple days away. We're going to be at Almost Home Tavern and Grill in Wrigleyville, right down the street from Wrigley Field. We spent a lot of time there during the summer with our Friday 120 clubs. It's a great spot, great food, and we're going to be having a lot of fun there. I'll be there probably for the kickoff of the noon games, setting up the set. We're going to be doing live pregame, postgame show, a live Briggs and Brown show. It's going to be a lot of fun, so make sure if you're in the area to come on by. Go to allchgo.com/events to get your tickets.
We all silly like the mayor.